All right, we're on our way to a property that one of our cash buyers bought from us, I would say about 2 months ago. This is an interesting deal because nobody else was willing to purchase this property from us because they just didn't really understand how they could make money off of it. But since we knew how to make money off of it, we were able to explain that to the buyer that bought the deal, who we're gonna meet today. And you guys are gonna see why a piece of land next to this property incentivized this buyer to buy it. And now this buyer is gonna make way more money than any of the other buyers were thinking of making in the first place. So let's go meet Marco. So we're actually meeting our cash buyer here right now. He's gonna pull up and explain to us why he bought this property and his intentions with it, and why that piece of land back there is gonna make this deal a banger.
What's up, man?
Yo. Nah, you're good, bro. What's the word with you? Chilling. There tenants here right now?
I don't see any cars, but yes, there is. The first floor is already rented by room, but now we're switching it up. We're about to rent it as a unit rather than by room, just because, you know.
Yeah. Family, we're in the great city of Worcester, Massachusetts with my guy, Marco. Y'all know Marco, he's been on the channel before. He's the guy that bought this deal from us. Like I was explaining before, he bought this deal over everybody else because this guy knows the stuff. He knows how to extract the most money as possible out of a deal. So Marco, I'm gonna let you explain what you were thinking about when you bought the property and why you were like, bro, this is a deal. I don't know why everybody else is saying no to the deal.
Yeah, most definitely. So I remember the day when I pulled up over here. It was you and your guy. There was a few people over here walking the property. So by looking at the property, I knew that by itself, as is, I mean, by the town records, it was still considered a single family, not a two family. So I knew that the deal would even work to even put it through the bank, right at first. So as I walked through the property, I seen that the property already had an interior structure as a two family. So now I just had to make it legal. So prior to even finalizing the deal, first thing that I did, I called my surveyor to do a plot plan of the site just so I can be able to see all the setbacks, because I know as a two family, I have certain requirements that I need to meet and within the lot itself. So by knowing that I was clear on that, in which Mike knew I took a little bit, a little longer to close, just to go through all the motions there. And I was able to see that it was in fact able to be turned to a two family. And from there, I also saw that we have a garage structure in the back, and we, by the state laws, we can now add an ADU to a property.
Game changer.
Game changer.
Yeah.
So which here we're able to turn, so it was initially a single family on record, but now we've turned it to a two family on record, and we can now add an ADU in the back, which now would make it technically a three family. A two family with another dwelling in the back. So consider it as a three, because you'll be able to rent it as a three family.
So when we were trying to wholesale it in the beginning, we're letting people know like, hey, this is a 2-unit building as potential. Right now on public record, it's just a single family.
Correct.
But there is potential for it to be changed as a 2-family. And it was fairly easily to change the property record card from being a single family to a 2-family, right?
There wasn't even a need for an actual contractor to pull a permit or anything like that. It was just me as the homeowner, walked into town, spoke to the zoning agent, and I told him, hey, here's my plot plan. I meet all the setbacks. I looked at all the bylaws online. I meet all the requirements. I want to convert it to a legal 2. He was like, all right, sounds good. I put in the application, and actually yesterday he released his hold because he had a hold on it because he wanted to see the plot plan uploaded to the portal. After he's seen it, he released it from zoning, so it's all good to go. So now it's just the fire department that needs to walk through, make sure we have all the proper smokes, and we are good to go on record. The assessors will change it now from a single to a 2-family.
So just in doing that, which didn't cost you really any money, right?
No, the permit fee was probably $125.
$125. You probably got another $125,000 of equity
in appreciation,
in the deal.
Because now it went from a single to a 2-family. So now instead of selling this for 400 grand or even lower than that, now I'm able to turn around and sell this as a 2-family for about $625.
Oh my gosh.
Not including
Plus you got the ADU.
That's not even including the ADU. So the ADU.
Plus you got the land in the back, which we're gonna get to in a second.
Correct.
So bro, this is a banger deal. So you're going in here looking at this like, bro, I'm able to get 3 units here, plus the land that we'll talk about in the back. and I'm pretty much purchasing it for the price of a 2-unit.
For sure.
Banger, bro. Well, let's go check it out and see what you've done so far. You've done some of the renovations so far,
so
right?
the first unit has been remodeled. We've done the floors, renovated bathrooms and all that good stuff, repainted the whole unit. We actually already have a tenant on the first floor.
Nice.
And the second floor, we were waiting for the tenant. The previous tenant that came with the sale to leave, she just left about a month ago. We were just kind of planning, re-strategizing to see if we're gonna, in fact, add an extra bedroom upstairs to make it a 2-bedroom upstairs, but I ended up just keeping it as a 1, just gonna renovate it as is, then focus on the ADU afterwards.
So you have a tenant in here that you're receiving income for. I'm assuming they're helping.
For the past 2 months.
2 months, and you bought it, what, like 2 months ago?
I bought it 3 months ago, and we already have a tenant in there for the past 2 months. That's already paying rent.
Got it. So that person that's paying rent is gonna be able to pay some of your holding costs.
Most definitely.
Fire. Let's go see it.
Let's do it. So for this one, it's still being managed from the office. We still need to get a property management company for this one around the area, because this is our first rental in this area, so we don't have a current property management company.
Right. I mean, plus once you got all these units put up too.
Correct. Because before you even do the ADU, the plan is to go after the variance for that. I told the office to coordinate with the tenants. Hello? Hello? Oh. Told them to coordinate with the tenants, so. Okay.
So what did you do in here?
So here, what we did was we swapped out the floors. I was here, the VCT tiles that was on the floor. We just put down some vinyl floor in here. I can show you guys the rest of the bedrooms because we started renting them by rooms. Only that room is rented. So what happened was, so now what I'm gonna do is we're moving that tenant upstairs up to the second floor. So now you'll get the whole 1-bedroom unit. And then we're able to rent this out as a full unit. And over here to this side, we added an extra bedroom over here since we were gonna rent it by room. So you remember this was just
you guys added this wall right here, right?
Added the wall and converted this to an extra bedroom.
Genius. So this was what, a 2-bedroom before?
It was a 3-bedroom.
And now it's a 4?
It's a 4.
So now you can get more rent.
There you go.
Bro, you're squeezing everything you could possibly squeeze out of this deal.
Hell yeah, bro. So it's a good size. Added a closet to it.
Yeah,
the whole 9. Added shades, closets, really made it into a bedroom because right now a lot of people really can't really afford much. So we decided to rent it out by bedrooms. But I'm noticing that there's kind of a problem. And for me personally, I told the office, we don't want to mix men and women. We want to, if it's either just men, or if it's just woman, just woman.
Interesting. When you're renting it by the bedroom.
By the bedroom. You want to be very careful with that because especially when it's college students, because of the sharing the bathroom, it could create a lot of problems. And nowadays, there's a lot of weirdos out there. So
yeah, bro. Plus, I'm thinking about it. I went to school actually in Worcester. No female wanted to touch our bathroom.
Yep. Exactly.
Like they wouldn't be happy in the
house that we lived in. That's exactly how it is. So now we're moving that tenant upstairs, renting this out as a full unit for $2,750.
Dang.
$2,750, Section 8. That's considered as a 3-bedroom because if we do a Section 8 inspection, we may have to take down this wall.
Yeah.
We may have to take it down to make it now it will be a 3. So a 3 in this area, in this zip code, it would be $2,750, and upstairs would be $1,550 as a 1-bedroom, and then the ADU would be another $2,250. Oh
my gosh! So just this house alone, you'll probably be cash flowing after paying your holding costs.
After paying all, because then I would refinance at a 75% of loan of value, which at the higher appraised value, and pull out all the capital that I put into the deal at the time of the purchase. So then we would be squared out at the deal at 0, so we'll start cash flowing from there 1.
And then everything else that we're going to see later on is just straight profit.
Correct. Because technically the lot was purchased free and clear.
Yeah.
Because now we'll start doing it with no mortgage. Because what I did was I bought this property under one entity, and then the lot in the back, I bought it under another entity without any mortgage. So I didn't put it on the same entity that I was taking a mortgage on.
So that lot is just chilling free.
Correct. Because I didn't want a lien to be put on the property. So now the lot, technically, it's free and clear. Because I wanted the lien to be on a primary property that's going to be cash flowing. So that way it could pay off the lien itself.
Right.
But the lot itself, since it wouldn't be cash flowing, I didn't want to feel like as though I was
because you can't go put a renter unless the raccoons or something are going to
Yep, so I'm just paying property taxes on it, and that's it.
Love it. Freaking genius.
Trying to be, man. And yeah, so this is smaller living room as if you was to rent it by bedroom, it would make sense. But if you're renting it as a full unit, they may want the living room to be a lot bigger.
Got it.
So,
did you finish the bathroom?
The bathroom itself, we added the LVPs also on the floor as well.
Yep.
And kept it as this. And this, you remember this right here was open. We added this wall here as well.
Oh yeah.
To really close this out. And
because this was open entirely.
Yeah,
this wall wasn't here, and that other wall.
Yeah, that wall wasn't there either. Turning that into a closet. So we added that, added this wall, added the other wall. Really closed off all the compartments here. Did some electrical work. Added smokes in all the rooms, lights, and all that good stuff. It was a pretty light renovation.
Probably what, a couple weeks?
It was about 3 weeks. I delayed it myself just for planning. Yeah. But it took about 3 weeks.
Easy enough.
Yeah, about 3 weeks. And this room over here, I won't show it to you guys. There's people already in there. But it's the similar thing as that room, just mimicking over here. This is the biggest bedroom, actually.
Oh, bro, I forgot there's a whole nother bedroom over here.
Yeah. This is the biggest one, actually. Oh, it seems like the floors is coupling over there. Jesus. So you find problems every day, bro. That's some more content right there.
So you got two closets in here. Could be a master bedroom for somebody. Love it.
That is it, man. So
say a prayer for Marco's contractors.
Yeah. They're most definitely gonna need it. They're most definitely gonna need it because he's already paid. So now there's gonna be a clawback on the next check. You know what I mean?
He's probably in the middle of the next job right now, and you're like,
that's
bro.
It. Actually, he's doing my flooring right now in Sharon for the condos that's coming on the market June 15th. Okay. So he already got a clawback on that check. That's how it works, man. That's how it's good to work with the same contractors sometimes. Because whenever they mess up, you can get them on the next job.
Yeah, you're like, bro, I can't pay you on that job until you come back and finish this job.
That's it. You still got to keep some sort of leverage. Because whenever you work with many different contractors, you keep no leverage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because now you're just going to play it by faith. Are they going to come back? Are they not going to come back? Yeah. But whenever you work with the same one, you can make them go back to fix their mess up. Right. Because they still have another check to receive. So they have a high motivation level to get shit done.
Love it.
That's it, man.
Let's go check out the top floor.
Let's do it. Now I'll come down and close it afterwards. Yeah. It's probably because of the weather. The weather changed, and now it's
now the molecules are expanding.
Yep. And
I'm a scientist now, if you didn't know.
And is there a light over there? Flick that on. We haven't really done any work up on this floor here.
Yeah, another thing that all the other cash buyers were nervous about was the tenant that was up here. But she was a sweetheart, right?
Yeah, I mean, my office ended up having a little bit of a kind of a hard time with her towards the end because she was trying to stay. It wasn't anything out of this world, man. It's just a matter of just going by the contract. That's why I was emphasizing up front, hey, we have to sign the contract. We have to sign the contract. So and, that ended up coming in handy. And, that kind of scared it off a little bit.
Yeah, so we were able to work with Marco and told him, hey, bro, before we close, we're going to get a cash for keys exchange signed. So we got that signed, and we closed probably like 2 weeks later.
That's right. So many keys.
So this is why it's important to have a good relationship with your cash buyers. It's not as simple as just saying, hey, Facebook, here's a deal. Somebody purchase it. Like, you got to know these cash buyers and have a relationship with them and work with them. Because we put this deal out. Nobody wanted it. Marco comes around. He's like, yeah, I see the use. I see what you're trying to say here. We could definitely do something. But I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need a cash for keys exchange. And I'm going to need to extend close a little bit to get all my ducks in a row. We're like, you know what? We can do that. So connections are important.
All right. Keeping the majority of cabinets as is. Yeah, but as far as work for this unit, it's not really much that needs to be done. It's just the flooring, ripping out the carpet. It's just easier for maintenance.
Right.
Just slapping on the LVPs that we put downstairs. And the cabinets, painting the cabinets, adding some more cabinetry here, matching.
You gonna replace these cabinets or keep
No, I would keep the same cabinets. Just repaint the cabinets. And here, obviously, swap them out with the same kind of cabinets as these.
Right.
We do have some good storage on that side, and this side over here, obviously, remodel all the walls, make sure everything looks nice. Proper venting, so we don't get any trapped moisture inside the unit, which could create mold and all that good stuff. And
so since it's a rental, you don't have to go crazy.
No, not for this one over here. I mean, especially it depends on the towns that you're in, right? I mean, for instance, like here we're in Worcester, it's a pretty good town, but you want to make the unit look presentable, but obviously you don't have to gut the whole unit and do the most as if you was in Jamaica Plain or Roxbury, right? Yeah. So, and then over there, that's where the wash and dryer is. We just swap out the wash and dryer. We'll rent it out with the wash and dryer and all included, and then. Very spacious bathroom that really doesn't need any rehab. Just the flooring. Also the same thing as downstairs. And taking out the carpets here and just laying out the floors. Same exact thing on this side. And then just an overall paint job. It's a very small unit, so the paint will not take long. Yeah. And this unit is ready for rent. So
are you going to add another bedroom here somewhere?
I was thinking about popping dormers on both sides of the corners in the kitchen over there where we were at. Got it. And I ended up just changing my mind because I was going to do the kitchen on one side and then increase more space on that side, move the bathroom down and convert the bathroom into a bedroom. But it's just simply just not worth it. It's not worth it.
Because homeboy downstairs is going to move up here anyway.
He's going to move up here.
And he's only one guy?
He's only one guy. Yeah. And he's going to pay me my $1,550. Yeah. So that's instead of adding all this work, it's probably going to take me maybe another 35 to 40 grand to turn it to a 2. That's what
I was just going to ask. So the question that everybody always asks is how much do these renovations cost? So just this house alone, let's forget what's outside for the time being, but just the unit downstairs that we just walked and this one, what's your renovation budget?
So with the both of them together, when it's all said and done, I'm probably going to be right around 60,000.
That's not bad, bro.
That's not bad at all. Because but everybody also has different numbers, right? Because it comes with you having the proper team and all that good stuff. So here I'm probably losing money right now by not renting out this unit. But for me, I think it's worth it because it gives me enough time for planning to have the right action plan in place and not just...
Especially with everything that we're going to go check out.
Correct. Not just anything, right? Because the initial goal was to do an attached ADU combined with this unit, or also extending this floor, which I could show you guys from the kitchen, extending it to that side, connecting it with the proposed ADU on the garage. Because you see there's a gap in between. So extending the house over, and then that would give us another 2-bedroom for this floor. So now this would be a 3-bedroom up here, 4-bedroom downstairs. Now I'll be able to rent this out for another $2,750. Downstairs $2,750, and then another 2-bedroom for the ADU, another $2,250. Right. So it's at a $1,550, but then I was like, it's not really worth it.
So, bro, here's what sticks out in my mind. When I was first starting out in wholesaling, I would have maybe 1 or 2 cash buyers that I would show my potential opportunities to. And they would come in and beat me up on price. They would beat me up on the renovation costs. And same deal with this deal. When we had all the other cash buyers come by, they're like, oh my gosh, this is like $120,000 worth of renovation. Bro, you have a $60,000 renovation budget, which is half of what some other people were talking about. This is why it's important for you guys to have multiple connections. When I was in the beginning, I would pass up on opportunities and say no to deals because I thought the sellers were asking for too much, when actually we could have found a cash buyer that could get it done at the right price. So what you guys want to do is you want to connect with people that know the market like the back of their hand, that don't just have 1 or 2 cash buyers that they're basing everything off of, but they know the market. The market is thousands of cash buyers. So, and all cash buyers have different buy boxes, different resources, like you're saying, different processes, different systems, different teams that allow you to get things done.
Most definitely.
Which is cool. So just because one of you guys' cash buyers beats you up and says no to a deal does not mean that it's not a deal. And by the way, cash buyers, all you cash buyers on Facebook that bash all the wholesalers that are posting their deals, I'm going to give you guys a tip. When somebody posts a deal on Facebook, rather than going on the Facebook post and commented, ha 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 ha, your numbers are so off, da 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 da. Why not just try to hop on the phone with that wholesaler and be like, bro, here's where I would have to be on this property. Might not be a deal for me. Maybe it's a deal for somebody else. But here's how I look at my numbers and try to present some value rather than just bashing them on Facebook. Would it be responsible for you as a cash buyer to go bash somebody that is a potential partner of yours later on?
So I actually just heard something not too long ago. I was talking to one of my attorneys. Actually, you know her. She's the one that helped us out with the closing of this one.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she was talking about how she knows this other investor. He likes to say if he looks at a house, if he takes the time to go even look at a property, it's disrespectful for him not to place an offer. Even if the offer is way below what you're asking for, but his confidence is that he can tell you exactly how he got to his number.
Yeah.
And he feels as though it's disrespectful for anyone to take a look at anybody's property without giving them an offer. If you're an investor, right? Obviously, if you're looking on a retail side, you have to look at multiple properties because you're going to be the person living in the property. But if you're looking at a property, you've already done your numbers, you've already decided that you want to go see this house, because obviously I'm assuming you've done some sort of background research, whether it's looking at the town assessor's page and seeing what's going on with the property. Once you walk through it, it is a respectful thing to place an offer, even if it's below asking, but explain how you got to your price. And that's a good start for a conversation with the wholesaler, with the, with the seller, or whatever, but
that could lead to more deals later on.
Correct. It leads to more deals later on. Or it can even be that deal because the seller may end up understanding, holy shit,
or it could end up being a deal.
My price is way out of whack. You know what? It makes sense that you're offering me 200 versus 300 because you still have to do this. You have to do a sewage connection. You have to do this, X, Y, and Z, which is going to cost you this, right? Oh, and obviously you still need a little bit of profit in there for you, a little bit of breathing room. So you explaining that to the seller and negotiating, it's crucial. I'm actually doing the same thing right now with some beach houses.
Yeah, that deal's fire, by the way.
Yeah,
it's giving people, like everybody that you work with, giving them a great user experience. Whether it's the people that are bringing you deals, the people that you're doing deals with, the contractors. If we could just give everybody a good user experience, that's how you get more business. Let's go check out what you're thinking about doing outside. So this garage is interesting, comes with an interesting story, but before we get to the story, talk about what your plans are with the garage.
So with the garage here, since it's already sitting on a slab, the goal is to build up and match the same height of the property, and still using the bottom section as kind of like a bi-level type of townhouse style, and use that, and this would be the ADU. It cannot exceed 900 square feet, so we'll just proportionally split the square footage in between
like 450. What's the base right now? It looks pretty big.
The base right now, it's a little bigger than that, which we'll try to get creative with the space.
Bigger than 450?
Yeah, it's a little bigger than 450.
So could you just redo this as it is without building up too?
It wouldn't reach us to the 900, but it's definitely an option because it would get us somewhat close to the 900 square feet.
Yeah.
If we were to also incorporate the other side, which is right behind you, that would that's another 150 square feet. So adding on to that, that could be a good potential, which would save us tremendous cost.
So what's the rule that Massachusetts put out, the law that they put out in regards to ADUs?
Yeah, so for ADUs, if you have a single, also there's a state regulation that allows you to do an ADU to your property if you meet the setbacks and bylaws, and of course, but on a town level, it could also be a little different. Like some towns, you could do it to a 2-family. And also a single family. Got it. Some other town, and sometimes you may also be able to do it with a 3-family, do a 3-family structure, add an ADU in a basement, especially in Boston because you don't have enough lot size, so they allow you to add it in the basement, right? So, but there's for example, if you go to Sharon, you won't be able to do it to a 2-family. They only allow it for single families. So single families, you'll be able to add an ADU.
Makes sense.
It cannot exceed 900 square feet for the total structure of the ADU, but it goes, so if you're so let's say your main dwelling is 1,000 square feet, the ADU can only be 50% of your main dwelling. So if you're,
which is 500 in that case.
Which in that case would be 500.
Yeah.
But even if you have 3,000 square feet in your house, and now the 50% would be 1,500, You can only do
can only do
900. 900 is the
right.
max, or 50% of your main dwelling.
But still, adding a 900 structure that you can rent out
Correct.
gives you what? What
That's
are you going to
massive.
rent this out for? Like $2,000?
It would be 2250. 2250 is a 2-bedroom. But there's also other ways about going about this that a lot of people right now are saying, oh, the use are way too crazy. I don't know how to build. I don't know how to manage contractors, anything like that. The best route to go is modular. Go modular, slap it on there. The cost is a lot less. So for probably $40,000, $50,000, I mean, let's be a little bit modest. Let's say like 75 to 80,000, you get a structure dropped onto your yard, slab on grade, no basement.
That's fire.
And you don't need to know about construction.
If this was already demoed,
I
you
would
could
do
just
a slab
slap
on
a
grade.
module.
Correct. I'm doing a modular project right now, the one in Norton with the 6 townhouses I'm bringing in. It's gonna be fully modular. I'm cutting my costs about $850,000 to $900,000.
That's fire.
From holding cost and construction costs, because the manufacturer guarantees you 3 months for them to slap the structure at the site. Comes with kitchen, bathrooms,
contractors better watch out, bro.
The whole 9. Huh?
These contractors better watch out. Because next thing we know, AI is going to be building our
That's the next thing. You have to watch your costs. I mean, what's happening right now, construction costs is just going to skyrocket a lot more.
Right.
Because right now, materials is what it is, but labor, you can play around with it to mitigate for your costs.
Right.
But you won't have that breathing room anymore. So now it's material and labor is going to be at a unbeatable price point, and you just have to pay it if you're going to do it, because there's nobody else that's going to do it for a cheaper price.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's it.
What was this? There was stuff in the garage, right?
So the story about that, it looked brand new, but it was an early 2000s diesel truck with a dump truck in it, and it had asphalt, rollers,
it was
a bunch of equipment. All of them were working. We tried out everything. Everything was working.
Really?
So everything was all good to go. And we were like, oh, because even when I was walking through the property, I was like, oh, this is as is, right? It comes with the sale. We were like, yeah, they didn't tell us anything else. And on the sale,
yeah, I remember the seller never told us anything.
On the PNS, it says as is.
Yeah.
So we were all ready to rock and roll, put these things on the road, and the whole 9. And come to be that the previous seller was renting out the garage to someone else. They just didn't disclose that to you or to me, so we didn't have to sign an estoppel. So this person lived here rent-free. I mean, left their stuff here rent-free for like 2 months post-closing. Yeah. And they just came, forced open the garage, and took all the stuff.
They took it?
They took all the stuff. We called the cops.
While you guys weren't here?
So one of my guys were here, and then I spoke to the attorney, and my attorney just said, you know what? If it's theirs, just let them take it.
It's already in their name. The title's
It's already in their name. It's gonna be a hustle to change the title, because the title's already under their name.
Right.
It's gonna be a hustle. Then eventually it could turn legal, and which I don't mind, but it's just gonna be attorney fees and all the blah 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 for something I wasn't mine from the beginning with. So what's not mine is not mine. So
right. Plus you're just able to get the ADU.
I just got mad because he left his stuff there rent free for 2 months. And when she could have at least paid up the months, so that paid up, let's say $1,000 for the 2 months he kept his stuff here, then just take it. But he just took it all for free. I could go after him. I had all his information, but I just decided not to. Just not worth the time. Interesting.
Let's check out the lot.
Let's do it. Yeah, this is the non-pretty stuff that people don't see on Instagram.
It doesn't look too pretty, but it is pretty.
No, I'm saying when you're talking about the garage, the situation, the people forcing doors open, the whole
We didn't know that, because we couldn't get into the garage and the seller wouldn't let us in.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
He was just like, nah, it's just locked, we can't get in. And we're just like, all right, well, pretty much everything that's there we're buying as is, and it is what it is.
That's correct.
So that's pretty crazy. But where we're standing right now isn't gonna look like this in the next year or so. You plan on putting a 3-unit here.
Modular.
A module 3-unit.
Modular 3-unit.
Wow.
So I'm not sure if you've seen actually how it looks. Right from the street from our office, there's a modular company. I have to take you there so you can see them. Because it looks exactly the same as a stick build. There's no difference. Sometimes you may be driving by modulars and you don't even know it's a modular. The only difference is that they do it in a factory, they do it in boxes, and then when they come here, they just connect it. Right. And that's it.
How long does it take to build?
3 months in a factory. The whole
But when they bring it here, how long does it take them to put it together?
1 day.
1 day?
1 day.
So, hold on.
24 to 48 hours to be exact.
Do you already have it ordered?
Yes. Not for this one. I already have it ordered for other projects. For this one, I just need to go through the variants, make sure everything is all good so I can know all my dimensions. so I can hand it over to them. And they do the architectural plans and designs all in-house, so you don't even have to hire an outside engineer, outside architect, and it comes PE certified from the factory, so you don't have to worry about passing your rough inspections for electrical, plumbing, HVAC. It comes already all passed from the factory. All you need to do is just your final electrical, plumbing, and HVAC on the site after they do all the final connections. Those are the only inspections you need to do. It comes HERS compliant with the HERS rating report already from the factory, insulated to the teeth. So
that's crazy.
All done. So you don't have to worry about making it code compliant and running behind Jose because Jose hasn't framed it right. Right. You don't have to do any of that. It comes already all done from the factory, all said and done.
That's incredible.
Inspections all
we got to do a video on your next one.
Yeah, it's
once you guys already have it.
This one in the next couple of months, we'll be ordering the unit.
We'll come back once they plant one here, and you guys will see what that looks like.
It'll be about 1,000 square feet. It'll be about 1,000 square feet per unit.
That's fine.
So it'll be a 3,000 square feet structure, building vertical.
How did you know that you could build here?
So based on the lot size, and it's on 2 separate parcels already. The only tricky part that's gonna happen here is the parking situation. But owning that property is gonna make it a lot easier for me because I can grant myself easements.
True.
To being able to allow parking a little bit further out from this property. Because per unit, you need to have 1 parking spot per unit.
Got it.
So I would need to have at least 3 designated parking spots for this unit, and then the remaining people would have to park. But considering that this is not on the street, I'll just have to get creative with where and how I would position the parking spaces.
It's the lot size and the potential frontage that'll be here once you extend the road. Yep. It's a conforming lot? It's
a conforming lot because we have 7,200 square feet. Right now, with all the lumps and stuff, you won't be able to see it, but it goes wide enough that gives us the 7,200 square feet, and even towards the back there. Majority of the cost with the site work, it's a very even lot, but the cost is going to come with the retaining walls that we're going to have to build.
You got to build
around the back there.
Wow.
Just withhold the dirt and within this parcel here, so it doesn't go on to the neighboring lots.
But you essentially got this for free.
Correct. So, I mean, if you put on a great scheme of things, the way we purchased it, we didn't put any loans or any liens on this. We put everything onto the main structure over there that's already pre-existing, which is easier to appraise. And I didn't have to come get title insurance on this lot because I was putting a lien on it and so forth. So it ends up being less closing costs at the closing table. And at the end of the day, I put the lien onto 1 property. So it's way more manageable. Because let's say right now, I want to go out and take out a loan or whatever. And after I've already seen that this already has an approved variance, now I can go and put a collateral on this because now it has a futuristic value. Because after it becomes conforming on paper on the Texas Assessors page, and I can show that it's an actual buildable lot, the variance been approved.
So you wouldn't even necessarily need to build here. You could just get everything ready for it and then sell it.
I could sell it with plans. I could build on it.
Probably for what, like 100 grand, 100 plus?
Way more than that. I mean, I could sell for about $150,000 with the plans and all.
Oh yeah, because it'll be a 3-family.
It'll be a 3-family.
Gosh.
But the goal is to build it and hold it as a rental. Don't want to sell it.
Right.
I'll ready to refinance it, pull the cash out debt free at 75 to 80% of loan to value. I have a lender that does 80% of on DSCRs. So I could go 80%, pull all my cash. Pull out the cash.
Tax free.
Tax free, and the lender up front, the lender that I'm working with up front, because this deal has so much equity.
Yeah.
They're able to give me money up front to start the construction.
Oh, that's fire.
That's another kick.
Wow.
So that makes it even better, whereas you don't have to come out of pocket up front or even use your own capital or bring investors in. So it just makes the deal a lot more profitable and manageable.
So you're going into the deal in the beginning, looking at this as, hey, well, you know, I can definitely build I could definitely change this into a 2-unit rather than just a single family that it's at right now.
Correct.
In doing that, my numbers work.
Correct.
So if I just keep this as a 2-unit building, I put 60 grand worth of work into it, and worst case scenario, I just sold it, I'd still make a hefty profit to make this a deal. But I'm smart, and I know that I can put an ADU right here, which we weren't even thinking about that.
Correct.
We were thinking about this. This is how we were able to like explain the deal to you.
But at first, you would need to get it appraised in front of the bank, so you would need to pitch something proposed. I couldn't just buy it as is. I had to pitch
You have
buying
to let
it
them
as a
know, hey,
two-family,
you can
but
do a
I'm also
two-family.
doing a proposed ADU to it. So now
Right.
they were running the comps as a 3-family rather than a 2-family.
Right.
So now which made the loan
So when you're
ratios
going
work.
to your investor to get all the cash, you have to explain this to them,
Of
which is
course.
important for you guys. Like, in order for you to let your buyer understand what they're buying, that's important because they need to let their investor know. A lot of the times they're not just using their own cash. They're going out to a hard money lender or a private lender or whatever it is and going out and raising the funds, and they got to explain them what the deal is. So
sure.
we're able to tell Marco, like, hey, bro, yes, you can turn that into a 2-family. It is conforming for that. You won't have an issue with doing that. But the kicker here is you have this lot. And as you look at the frontage and the lot area, it's conforming. You're just going to have to put a road down there. So Marco's able to go back to his lender, say, hey, I'm getting, for the price of 2 units, I'm actually getting 1, 2, 6. And his lender's like, oh, bro, this is the lock. I'm going to give you more money.
That's right.
I'm going to give you money to actually start the deal, which most lenders won't do.
Correct.
Which is fire, bro.
Yeah, for this one over here, it will be great because technically there's 0 debt on it. So they will be the first position from the start at a 0 debt position. They're not lending on acquisition. They're only lending on construction. So the loan ratios will be below 55% on the loan of value.
Wow.
So which is
so they'll pay
great.
for your modular pretty much.
Correct, because the way it works is you put 20% down with the modulars, and then another. Goddamn, you put 20% down as a down payment, and then the day when they drop it onto the site, you pay the remaining 80%. So it's good to have the lender here. The day when they drop it, they'll have an inspector here that will see it, sign off on it after it gets dropped onto the foundation, and the lender wires the funds right over.
Fire
It makes it
deal,
a clean, smooth process.
Fire deal. And this is a deal that we were going to say no to because all the other cash buyers were saying no to us. And I'm like, bro, I know this is a deal. Let me get my guy Marco on this deal because I know he'll buy it. We ended up making 30 grand on it.
For sure.
And that's something that we were going to say no to. All right, so I know there's probably a wholesaler out there right now. Maybe that might even have been working this lead that wasn't able to get it done simply because they just didn't have the resources or connections to do it. Or you guys might be working other deals and that keeps happening to you. I get it. I was there. I used to be the guy that was trying to do everything on my own, lock up the deals, do the transaction coordination, find the cash buyers, and it's hard. Simply, if you're just focused on one thing and squatting up with other people, you're gonna get a lot more accomplished. So with that being said, Marco, where do the people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, Marco, _Morris, MORAIS 95, or even on LinkedIn, just Marco Morris, and I'll be there. And I own Morris Legacy Real Estate. That's the oldest company that buys all my real estate, and it's also on Instagram. You can check it out.
Where do you do the majority of your deals?
As far as like the town?
Yeah, just your market.
On the South Shore. the South Shore and the Boston area, going up to Jamaica Plain, down to the South Shore. I was once in the Cape, but right now I'm kind of consolidating it, and I'm staying in more so towards like the Canton, Norwood, Medfield, Walpole area, Sharon area. I do own a bunch of properties around those areas, but anywhere in the South Shore, I'll be comfortable doing deals in.
So if somebody has a potential deal, can they send it to you and you let them know where you'd have to be?
Most definitely. You can send it to me whether it's via Instagram or LinkedIn, and yeah, we can make something work.
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
So I want to do deals with you guys. I need you guys to go to wholesalewithmike.com. We do a monthly Zoom where I go over how we find these deals, how we fund them, how we connect with people like Marco. And I want to do deals with you. Whether you're an agent, wholesaler, investor, whoever it is, let's do some deals. Go to wholesalewithmike.com. I'll catch you on the monthly Zooms. Peace.